Hello and welcome to the Board Game Geek Show, live from GAMA 2019 on March 14th. This show will go live tomorrow on March 15th, which is the fastest turnaround for a BGG show ever.
Yeah.
I've got some fantastic co-hosts tonight. I've got John Cox from John Gets Games. I got Chaz Marler from Paradise. I don't even have to worry about accent on that at all. Just say it that way. And then I got Rodney Smith from Watch It Played and part of our BGG team.
That's right.
And so is Rodney. And maybe John. Who knows?
And Chaz.
Did I say? Oh,
so nice, you said me twice.
oh my gosh! It's been a weird day. It
has been a weird day.
We woke up with Eric not feeling well.
Yeah.
And so he was just resting, and then nobody could get a hold of him.
Right.
Which I'm sure he was just sleeping. But we ended up taking him to the hospital, and he's getting hydrated, and he's doing better. So hopefully all that will work out. Now. The GAMA Trade Show. What is it? Rodney's going to help us out with it.
Am I? Okay.
Yeah.
I believe it stands for the Game Manufacturers Association. Is that right?
And what is the show?
Well, it's an interesting kind of show because it's not really open to the public.
Yeah, it's not a con.
You're not really buying and selling things. Although definitely pre-orders are happening here. Mainly though, it's a way to bring retailers together with publishers, designers, distributors, and then see product that's either releasing pretty soon or right now, but often like a few months into the future. So it's a way for those retailers to go like, well, what looks interesting to me? What would be interesting for my customers, and what might I want to buy? And also just to talk, right?
Absolutely.
To talk to the distributors.
It's an opportunity for a lot of these retailers to actually speak to distributors and publishers directly.
Face to face.
Yeah,
maybe air some grievances, maybe ask some questions.
Right.
And there's also lots of
workshops and seminars.
Yes, seminars that will allow where the lots of different people, including the publishers and the distributors, give advice to these retailers to help increase their sales and increase the community in their with their stores and stuff like that. It's a pretty fantastic event. Eric had said he had done some of the seminars at one point in time.
I had in the past too. Like they had one that was just on social media. So you're a game store owner and you'd like to promote your store on social media. What are some tips and tricks using Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and such? Right. So lots of good practical advice here.
Yeah.
And publishers usually bring a few announcements of upcoming
there's
releases,
actually quite a bit.
Things.
I mean, it's surprising how much more it is.
Yes.
I think when we first started coming here, which was not that long. I mean, obviously it was in Vegas before. There wasn't as many announcements. There were certainly some big ones, but now it's a lot. I'm surprised because I thought for sure much of the Games Workshop announcements would wait till Adepticon, and they basically gave them all out. They may give some more details at Adepticon, but everything we had heard rumored basically was announced. Lots of really cool stuff. So not a lot to see. We did get to see the minis from the new 40K box set, which were fantastic.
Yeah,
and
Games Workshop though was keeping their lips pretty sealed on
Oh
details.
yeah, we were definitely applying them, but it did not work, which is fine.
We saw quite a few shrink-wrapped empty boxes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's interesting they throw the shrink
It looks
wrap
like
on
it's
them.
there, and you pick it up and you're like, oh, it's okay.
This is air, isn't it?
Yeah.
Unless it was the game with the mental blocks, right? Weren't those light?
Very light.
Yeah.
Like almost spongy type of blocks or whatever.
So there you go. There's one box that actually had stuff in it that was super light. But, anyway, did anybody play anything exciting while they were here?
I got to play a couple things. One thing I played last night was Sierra West. Have you heard of that one?
No, I have not.
Yeah, that one's coming out by...
When you said it earlier, I thought you meant it was a publisher. I played the game Sierra West. I'm like, I thought you meant new game from Sierra West. I'm like, who's that?
Yeah, no, it's the name of the game. I played it last night. It's coming out through Board and Dice later on this year, I think.
Yeah, you did say
and,
that. Finally said the publisher. I just didn't retain it.
Yeah, and it was... I enjoyed it. It was a pretty strange Euro-style experience. Every turn you draw 3 cards, and then you have to play them either like card 1, card 2, and card 3, or go 1, 1, 3, 2, or 3, 2, 1, or however many of those. Yeah, exactly. You work those around, and then the way those go together, you then move little workers across a little. You're building 2 trails, a green trail and a brown trail, and you can move your workers at different rates, and they'll get to a spot to get a resource. Then this one will move here and spend that resource, and go here and get a resource. Then this one will go here and that resource. They get to the end of the track, and then they go up to the top, and then they can spend resources to move up. There's a lot going on with it. It was like 90 minutes. It was fun. We all enjoyed it. It was definitely the kind of game though where they taught the rules, and I had my first turn, and I had these 3 cards trying to figure out how to make it work, and it took a minute. It felt like I was building new logic pathways in my brain because I was not used to that. On top of that, you can build bonuses on buildings that you can actually have a worker like oversleep in a hotel or something like that, or like Wild West saloon to give you extra perks, but they can't go on the trail yet, so you have to go here until they activate that bonus over here, and then that person.
My brain's already sweating.
There's a few things, and there's like a smidge of deck building in there, and on top of that, it comes with 4 modules that add a lot of new mechanics to the game and like pieces of cardboard. Like we played the mining a mountain module, and that meant we had to get mine cards and you got extra gold for that. But you could play a different module where you bring out a different piece of cardboard and different cards, and now you have double-sided cards that have a river and you're fishing instead. You're doing something else. There's another one they said where you're expanding out an apple orchard, and you there's now an apple market, and apples don't exist in any of the other ones, so some pretty significant changes to a core rule set that I thought was pretty cool. I could go into more specifics, but you're not going to get it without some images.
I was recording some B-roll footage.
That's right. You came by,
I came by while you were resolving one of your turns.
Yeah.
Like I just recorded you doing your turn, and it was 2 solid minutes of you going, okay, I'm going to get some of this ore. Oh, and I fight this bear. Oh, and I do this. Oh, and I also do this. And I'm not done. I do this. Oh, I can do this. And how does that work? I can do this. And it was just 2 solid minutes of just chaining things together.
Yeah, you do like 15 things on your turn.
Yeah. Wow. You looked like you needed a nap when you were done.
Yeah, but it was fun, but it was definitely just like, okay. And then at the end, there were a couple times I was like, oh, but I didn't get to I'm not redoing it. That's it. I did stuff. I'm good. So yeah, I played that. It was cool. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm quite interested to see more details of the other modules.
Did you play or see anything, Chaz, that kind of caught your eye?
The main thing that I got to actually sit down and play an entire game of was Hanga from from Haba.
Haba.
Yes,
Hanga from
Hanga
Haba.
from Haba.
You guys all played that one.
We did.
We did the same game
together.
Yeah, that was the main one. That has like kind of the 3x3 grid of areas that you can go, and you have these little discs that have 2 or more different areas that you can activate. So you have different resources and things that are available in different areas of that grid, but if you don't activate the center area of that grid, you will get a penalty. So do I want to get the resources that are in the other areas, or do I want to play it safe?
Is there a theme attached to this game?
There is.
I know there is. I'm just prodding him now for the theme.
Yes, there's a theme of these, was it caveman civilizations?
With
this,
yes.
Who is Hanga, Chaz?
Hanga is this big saber-toothed cat who lives in the center of this
See,
grid.
you missed all that. That's the best part of the game. Maybe fantastic, but without that saber-toothed tiger, who knows?
I was trying to be brief. Yeah, and so you must go and spend one of your resources to pet Hanga, or else Hanga comes and hangs out wanting attention at your campsite.
So what would be the abstract version of that thing you just told us?
The abstract version?
Of petting Hanga.
It would be applying one of your hand resources towards the feline management system.
Basically.
Yes.
I'm glad I got the theme in there.
Okay.
The feline management system.
Yes.
That's great. A Haba game. You're playing that with kids. Now, son, we're at the feline management system part of the game. No, it was really fun. We all had a really good time with it.
Yeah.
Like, it really kind of, get your brain going. And that whole feline management system was really great, because every time you're spending energy to manage the feline, you'd rather be doing something else with that.
Yeah.
But you have to, or you're going to get penalized a little bit.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's worth doing it, sometimes it's not.
Yeah,
it
and
was
making
really
that
cool.
making that choice was really fun.
Yeah.
And the way you selected the actions with those little discs, that was very unique.
Yeah, very clever. Yeah.
What about you?
Something we might even do on a game night sometime in the future. We'll see.
That is the
I think it's
plan.
a good candidate for it.
Me, did I play anything at the show?
Hold up. No.
Oh,
yeah, Bulldog, yeah,
I did play. I can't say it for me because I don't know.
Bulldog Mau Mau, yeah. It's the Leo Kunovi, which we've mentioned before because I think we talked about it after Nuremberg, but it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a quick little card game. Something else we might actually do on game night as well. I will mention one game, though, that I didn't play here, but I played at the convention before I got here, which was Root. And it's a game that probably a lot of people are familiar with. I will not go into a lot of detail, but let me tell you about the theme. you're each controlling a certain aspect of woodland creatures. So there's a woodland alliance. There's a flock of birds. That's one of the other ones. We've got cats that are spreading all over.
Seagulls by chance?
And what's that?
Was it seagulls by chance?
There weren't any seagulls. I don't know what they were. They're a little blue. I like to think they were blue jays because that's my favorite type of bird. But yeah, anyway, so we're each controlling our own factions. And if you've played Vast before, or if you're aware of Vast, it's by the same company, different designer. But what it shares is that DNA of everyone and each person's faction is very different than everyone else's. What I'm trying to do, what you're trying to do, how we do it, very different. But it's all happening in the same shared forest map that we're playing on. So teaching it, you've got to sort of teach some general rules that apply to everyone, and then it branches off significantly. And I was really keen to give it a try, and I tried reading through the rules without the game in front of me because I was flying in. I don't recommend that. I think it is a good idea to have the game near you, but I have to say, Once we gotten through a couple rounds of it, it was pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Like how to play well, not so much, but certainly how to play. So if people have been intimidated by Root because they know, well, there's these 4 different factions I got to learn and maybe teach to my friends, I would say it's worth the investment. I really enjoyed it. When we played, we had a really good time. And again, everyone doing something different was really interesting. And they now have, I think, a Kickstarter launching soon-ish. Yes, the trailer I think I saw.
So, yeah.
Because they have some new factions that you can play and employ in the game.
Yeah, I think
so.
that's crows and moles.
There's definitely moles. It's like I think it's called Underground. There's like an underground system. There's already an expansion for it already, the Riverfolk expansion. So I think this is a game we're going to see them investing in going forward because I know a lot of people have enjoyed it.
Who'd you play and did you win?
I played the birds, and I'll just say quickly, the birds, you're sort of trying to program their actions. And then every turn you're adding to the programming, and you have to completely fulfill all of them, or you fail. Your birds go into turmoil. They get all confused and start flying into each other, and you start to reset. So you're trying to add to it to do more and more stuff, but eventually other players will do things that interfere and mess up your plans. So I did not win. I came in a pretty good second, though. Yeah. So I felt good with that. So that's real. I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with it, but I just wanted to add my 2 cents on it. I really enjoyed it. Yeah. So we also had some news stuff to go over.
Yep.
There was some interesting announcements that kind of happened before the show and I think kind of during the show as well. Some of you might have heard that. Help me with this now. So this is where we're going to miss Eric here because he's always our news guru. But Asmodee has acquired the rights to distribute Come On games in.
Come On, by the way, you notice that that's a new pronunciation of the game.
Yeah. So Cool Mini or Not, which then became CMON, has now, although there's not been an official press release, they're sort of steering people towards pronouncing it as Come On instead of CMON. So that was another sort of quasi-announcement. But CMON games or Come On games, the distribution rights in North America have been acquired by Asmodee. Shocking. So that doesn't mean they own CMON or Come On. And this is happening a lot online. Oh my gosh, Cool Mini or Not's been acquired by Asmodee. That's not the case.
Yeah.
But they have got another piece of that company.
Not yet.
That's right. They haven't fully got it. So what it just means is when there are games that are going to go to retail, then Asmodee will handle that distribution. Kickstarters will still all be managed by CMON. Come on.
Cool Mini or Not.
Cool Mini or Not. Whatever you want to call them. And even when they do a Kickstarter, the extra copies that they have that are then going to go into retail, that will also be handled by Asmodee. So we also had some really breaking news. Like just happened just minutes ago. We found out that there was actually a resolution in the Age of Steam. What am I going to call this?
Saga?
Debacle.
Yeah.
Martin Wallace had posted a couple of threads just saying, again, with the new Age of Steam game coming out, he had some concerns over ownership, felt he hadn't necessarily been treated fairly in the proceedings, and it seemed like that was a situation that was never going to be resolved. And as someone put online, it says, oh, I guess sometimes occasionally it does snow in hell, someone wrote, because they've come to a resolution, which seemed like it was going to be impossible. So Martin Wallace has posted and said things are resolved to his satisfaction, and I guess it's going to proceed forward in a happy way, I guess.
That's good.
Which is good to hear.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Ultimately.
Yeah. And people, again, that was I think probably one of the concerns was folks were not wanting to back it because of Martin Wallace's position on it. So
right.
And it actually looks like a pretty amazing production too. I remember looking at it last week and not seeing Martin Wallace's name and the whole 9 yards. So it's good to see that something came out of that finally.
Yeah.
And has been resolved.
Yeah, and if you're curious about it, I'm sure we can put a link in the description
to the article,
towards
his
the article.
post.
Yeah, his post. Yeah. He did a post sort of detailing how it resolved. Yeah.
What else have we had happen here? We've
other name changes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was another name change.
Yeah.
You're right. Do you remember what it was?
Yes, it is the OP. Sorry, yeah, the USAopoly, right?
Right.
Now
that was announced a few weeks
the
ago.
OP or the OP.
The OP.
I missed that. I missed that.
Yeah, that one. Eric posted it in something about the change there, and it's obviously to take the focus off
Opoly.
Opoly.
The OP is a weird name, though. I will say. It doesn't scream games to me, but maybe eventually it will.
Maybe it's like Twilight Struggle, your op points.
Okay.
Maybe that's what they're. I don't think that's what they're going for.
Yeah. But it's interesting because they've got a lot of great stuff. I mean, that's actually one of the most amazing things this con to me. Not a con. Is all of the IP related things that are happening. The new Star Wars Epic Duels re-implementation that Rob Daviau is doing with J.R. Honeycutt and Justin Jacobson.
Over at Restoration Games.
Yep, they're doing it with Mondo, which means more IP for them that they can do it with. Initially, it is some generic heroes from or villains from lore, right? Robin Hood and things like that. Actually, I don't even know if Robin Hood's in there. And then, but then they're going to have things like Buffy and Bruce Lee.
And they said Bruce Lee was going to be a separate add-on.
And then I love that they have the jackalope with the Sasquatch. Is that what it was?
I think you're right. Yeah.
And he's his cohort, and that's got some Monty Python bunny elements to it, I guess, is what Sue Sheldon was saying. So it's pretty awesome. And then the new Batman. I'm totally smitten with the Batman animated series deck builder from Cryptozoic, and you're playing the villains, and it looks. And there's a push your luck element to it. Yeah. It looks really, really interesting. And the art is unbelievably fantastic. I just cannot wait to see it.
You've seen a lot of fantastic artwork on a lot of games. I mean, everyone's upping their game, so to speak.
But there's so many good IP things happening.
Yeah.
Another one that will be announced next week that sounded like a lot of fun that we filmed off live stream. Yep, no more than that. But it will be... It'll be after we post this show, but about 4 or 5 days after you'll hear about it. And it's sounds pretty neato too, and has some really cool elements. And that's coming from the Op. Speaking of the Op.
The Op.
So that'll give you some hint of where it might be. Once you hear it, you'll go, oh, I know what they're talking about.
You were talking to Gale Force 9 the other day, I know, and they had kind of a big announcement.
Really big announcement.
Yes, there is a game out there that's its IP has been notoriously difficult to obtain, and they did it. Gale Force 9 did it. You may remember that a few years ago, a game, Fantasy Flight, came out and released Rex. End of an Empire, or Final Days of Rex. And Rex, of course, was kind of
you were doing so good.
Yes, was a revisioning of Dune because the rights to Dune weren't obtainable. Well, Gale Force 9 just like today announced
yesterday or something. Yeah,
they are going to be reprinting Dune because they obtained the rights to it.
And they were doing the Dune related projects related to the new film, so that must be some relation to what's going on. So maybe. The family finally eased up because there's now another film property, and they're, because I'm sure that's part of it to keep it relevant and stuff like that. Because they were very obstinate to do it, letting a reprint happen.
Yes.
The last one that was from Eurocart Deju, I think, or something like in the early aughts, maybe I think, or maybe late '90s. Okay. So it's been a long time because that was originally Avalon Hill, and. So that's very exciting to see. I know a lot of people
I've never played it, but I know people just rave about this.
Yeah, they say it's fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
It's I don't think it's for everyone. I have played it. I bought a copy at a board game auction like 8 years ago, and then sold it a couple of years after that after playing it once or twice. There's a lot going on there for sure.
It's asynchronous as well, too, right? That's one of the interesting things about that one.
Yeah, the asymmetry of it. Yeah, absolutely.
Asymmetry.
Yeah, exactly. I think that it's definitely a fun game, but you have got to be okay with a game that will be 30 minutes to 3 hours, right? And you have to be okay in hour 2 having everything fall apart because one person had that one thing, that one little. They had your weakness. They have your Achilles heel.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if they maybe. Change some of the rules or streamline.
I'm curious to modernize it or something like that.
Yes,
because a lot's changed in that time.
Again, I mean, some people might be disappointed if that happens too. So who knows?
It'll be interesting to see. It certainly
for sure. And plus, there's new stuff coming from that IP, so related to the new film, which will be exciting as well. I think that's next year. So, and there's so many people in that movie. I'm wondering if they're gonna have likeness issues on that one too. My goodness.
Yes.
What else has been going on? I think we finally. It's short but long at the same time. It's just I think the travails have been the difficult part because this has been a really fun convention, not a convention, and a lot of great stuff and a lot of great people here. It's been considering Reno is kind of remote. It's not super easy to get to. There are tons of people here from international publishers and everything. It's really amazing.
Yeah, it seems like a very valuable, not a con. Trade show that people come to and get a lot of year after year, right? And this is my first time at this location. It's a very nice location. I think they treated us pretty well. It is. You say remote a bit, but everything's remote.
Well, it's a very nice. The location that they have it in is way better than it used to be. It is really the convention space, the hall space, the meeting spaces, the hotel. Everything is really, really nice. So that is a plus, because Bally's needs a remodel.
Which
you
is
know?
where we normally
Yeah.
was in previous years in Vegas.
It may have been remodeled. Who knows? I haven't been there in so darn long. I think it. Well, no, it's 3 years now, or some 2.5
Yeah.
years. But hopefully it will. Who knows? With the way the leadership of GAMA has changed, that may change this too. Who knows? But they've been super friendly and helpful to us, and very, very helpful. Lots of issues when we checking in because we had such craziness, and they took care of all that.
They
stuff
did.
for us,
They
so-
came right up and they talked to whoever they needed to talk to, and they straightened it all out for us.
which was
great.
fantastic.
Yeah, we
'cause
were all taken care of.
I was not here yet, and getting phone calls and messages. I'm like, I can't do much about it.
Yeah.
When I get there, I will. But it was all taken care of,
Yep.
Yeah.
No,
so
yeah.
it was really good.
And not to pat ourselves too much on the back, but I felt like the show and just how everything went, we had some things we had to adjust to on the fly. And in a number of
absolutely.
cases, and the team here felt pretty cohesive, and we all had each other's backs, and
Yeah.
felt really good about it.
A well-oiled
Right.
machine. It
Yeah.
was.
Now, as we wrap this up, I suppose one other thing we should maybe mention, we did a bunch of preview videos here that were live streamed out, but they're also going to be repackaged as individual YouTube videos, and people can find those not on the channel where this video is being posted, but instead on the Board Game Geek Express channel. So if you want to see all the different previews we've done or different ones that might interest you, that's where you would go. Lincoln, do you know the exact address for it? It's
I do not know that.
YouTube.com/.
It's
Board
Board
Game
Game
Geek.
Geek Express. That is the name of it. Board
Yeah,
Game
well,
Geek
we'll have a
YouTube
link.
channel.
We'll definitely have a
Yes,
link in the description.
it is our
below.
other sister channel just for convention coverage. And there will be avalanches of media to that. That's why we are switching it over there.
But do subscribe, check it out.
And they're updating. I mean, this week, the con coverage has been posting, and still some of the New
And
York
by
Toy
con
Fair.
coverage, we mean
Yeah, true con.
CANNES.
Yeah, true.
it sounds like con.
Con coverage.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of videos for that. They were just finished editing those just before we left, and then we got this whole new avalanche of stuff.
So
coming.
many games.
2.5
But,
days
crazy.
of
And it
new
is
stuff.
surprising how many things that were not mentioned at either Nuremberg or Cannes. You know, a bunch of new stuff. It's amazing how many new games. Because you always wonder, is it worth it to go to every one of these cons and Cannes cons? And this one, it turns out it really is. There's a lot of new stuff. I think partly because a lot of the publishers are just kind of like looking for that space where there isn't too much noise that they can make an announcement and actually have an impact.
I think you're
And-
right. That's why we're seeing more announcement at some of the smaller
Even
shows.
exactly.
Just because, if I say it here, it's not butting up against all the announcements at a Gen Con
Absolutely.
or
It
Origins
has
or
to be
whatever.
the case
Yeah,
because
yeah.
there's so many announcements nowadays and lots of intriguing projects,
Yeah.
really, really surprising stuff. Is that it, guys?
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
We'll be back again in 2 weeks with a traditional BGG show, Board Game Geek show. Please like us or subscribe. We'd really appreciate it.
Please like us.
You know, hey,
You could
come
do
on.
both if you want.
Yes, it's the support has been great and the show is growing, which is really great. I do miss we've not had Steph Hodge or Aldi on for now more than a month, so they will be back.
Soon.
Yes.
Very soon.
And take care. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye.